All great and precious things are lonely. Solitude is fine, but you need someone to tell that solitude is fine. If you're lonely when you're alone, you're in bad company. All I ever wanted was to reach out and touch another human being, not just with my hands but with my heart. Nobody likes being alone that much. I don't go out of my way to make friends, that's all. It just leads to disappointment. The worst part of holding the memories is not the pain. It's the loneliness of it. Memories need to be shared. Remember, the time you feel lonely is the time you most need to be by yourself. Life's cruelest irony. Two possibilities exist: either we are alone in the universe or we are not. Both are equally terrifying. The loneliest moment in someone's life is when they are watching their whole world fall apart, and all they can do is stare blankly.
Let me tell you this, if you meet a loner, no matter what they tell you, it's not because they enjoy solitude. It's because they have tried to blend into the world before, and people continue to disappoint them.
Being alone never felt right. Sometimes it felt good, but it never felt right.
The trouble is not that I am single and likely to stay single, but that I am lonely and likely to stay lonely. The most terrible poverty is loneliness, and the feeling of being unloved.
If one's different, one's bound to be lonely. I don't know what's worse, to not know what you are and be happy, or to become what you've always wanted to be, and feel alone. A great fire burns within me, but no one stops to warm themselves at it, and passers-by only see a wisp of smoke.
How we need another soul to cling to.
There is a loneliness in this world so great that you can see it in the slow movement of the hands of a clock. Your absence has gone through me like thread through a needle, everything I do is stitched with its color.
So many people are shut up tight inside themselves like boxes, yet they would open up, unfolding quite wonderfully, if only you were interested in them. When you have nobody you can make a cup of tea for, when nobody needs you, that's when I think life is over.
It would be too easy to say that I feel invisible. Instead, I feel painfully visible, and entirely ignored. I felt a haunting loneliness sometimes, and felt it in others, young clerks in the dusk, wasting the most poignant moments of night and life. They cannot scare me with their empty spaces, between stars, on stars where no human race is. I have it in me so much nearer home, to scare myself with my own desert places. Sometimes I feel so, I don't know, lonely. The kind of helpless feeling when everything you're used to has been ripped away. The only time we waste is the time we spend thinking we are alone.
Some people are just not meant to be in this world. It's just too much for them.
I felt her absence. It was like waking up one day with no teeth in your mouth. You wouldn't need to run to the mirror to know they were gone.
I realize, for the first time, how very lonely I've been in the arena. How comforting the presence of another human being can be.
I wish I could tell you how lonely I am. How cold and harsh it is here. Everywhere there is conflict and unkindness. I think God has forsaken this place. I believe I have seen hell and it's white, it's snow white. Some nights are made for torture, or reflection, or the savoring of loneliness. Loneliness adds beauty to life. It puts a special burn on sunsets and makes night air smell better. It's no good trying to get rid of your own aloneness. You've got to stick to it all your life. Only at times, the gap will be filled in.
Loneliness is the poverty of self, solitude is richness of self.
We're all islands shouting lies to each other across seas of misunderstanding.
The loneliness you feel with another person, the wrong person, is the loneliest of all. But nothing makes a room feel emptier than wanting someone in it. The real loneliness is living among all these kind people who only ask one to pretend.
I am alone, I thought, and they are everybody. If you smile when you are alone, then you really mean it.
Depression on my left, loneliness on my right. They don't need to show me their badges. I know these guys very well. The pain of being alone is completely out of this world, isn't it? I don't know why, but I understand your feelings so much, it actually hurts.
Be good and you will be lonesome. Loneliness becomes an acid that eats away at you. My loneliness was born when men praised my talkative faults and blamed my silent virtues. Nobody can discover the world for somebody else. Only when we discover it for ourselves does it become common ground and a common bond, and we cease to be alone.
It's so stupid because all I wanted was space, and now that I have it, there's this part of me that's achingly lonely. I could die.
Solitude is indeed dangerous for a working intelligence. We need to have around us people who think and speak. When we are alone for a long time, we people the void with phantoms. You are never alone. You are eternally connected with everyone.
It is beautiful, it is endless, it is full and yet seems empty. It hurts us. Deep down, the young are lonelier than the old. What loneliness is more lonely than distrust?
There's a sorrow and pain in everyone's life, but every now and then there's a ray of light that melts the loneliness in your heart and brings comfort like hot soup and a soft bed. The tragedy of this world is that everyone is alone. For a life in the past cannot be shared with the present. If you are afraid of being lonely, don't try to be right. It is a joy to be hidden, and disaster not to be found.
Lonely was much better than alone. I spent the rest of the day in someone else's story. The rare moments that I put the book down, my own pain returned in burning stabs. Even in the loneliest moments, I have been there, for myself.
Over time, loneliness gets inside you and doesn't go away. There's a loneliness that only exists in one's mind. The loneliest moment in someone's life is when they are watching their whole world fall apart, and all they can do is blink. On this road there are no God-spoke men. They are gone and I am left, and they have taken with them the world.